Greetings from the, well, it's midnight for me right now as of recording the start of this video, which is great. I should be getting to sleep, but I forgot to record this earlier, and I don't feel like forgetting again tomorrow because I have things to do. Anyway, this is gonna be a little bit of a shorter video, probably anyways. At the very least, gonna be a different video. And you can probably tell that from the video length and the thumbnail and the title and all that. Because honestly, I haven't been playing video games very much. I've been doing some videos on video game stuff, basically, like Binding of Isaac, but I haven't been playing them as much. Something I have been doing, though, as of recent, is making thingies for D&D. Mainly one thingy, and that's what I want to talk about today. So let's get into that. So basically, over the last 2 weeks or so, I have been making this little guy. It's a rogue subclass for D&D 5e, because I don't play 5.5e. I just don't have the stuff for it, and to my knowledge, it's not free on D&D Beyond. So yeah. I actually don't play rogue. I don't know if I ever have, but I have looked into a decent amount of stuff about the class, so I think I get the general gist. But one day I was just like driving along and having a conversation with some of my family, and in my head, I don't remember what we were talking about. In my head, I'm like, wait a second, hold on. What if there was like a rogue subclass where you're a magician? And you might be thinking like, oh, is this one of those like spell casting subclasses? No, it's not. It's basically like a magician, It's not like, okay, well, I'm getting kind of excited, but it's not like casting spells. It's using these like little tricks that and stuff that are based on magic tricks that like magicians use, and it's mainly meant to be a it's like half just meant to be really funny. So let's get into it. I wanna talk about it now. Okay, so first of all, actually, real quick thing is I'm gonna be putting this whole subclass in a PDF in the description, because I made a thingy and I think it's funny, and I wanna just share that, you know? I might even go onto D&D Beyond and just upload this just so it's out there, but we'll see if that happens. I just kind of want to show this, show this off because I think it's fun. So, yeah, that'll be in the description. Pointy hat style, just exactly like how Pointy Hat does it. So, continuing on. The name of our rogue subclass here is the Amateur Magician, where sometimes the turning point in battle isn't an explosion or the clashing of blades. Sometimes all you need to win a battle is the right trick up your sleeve. As an amateur magician, that's exactly your specialty: lining the pins up and knocking them down. That's the flavor text, and it actually explains a lot of the point of the class is that you have these little things that like you can prepare before battle. You're lining those pins up, and then you're knocking them down by using whatever you have prepared. It's a lot of part of the class, like preparation and stuff. But getting into the first ability, we'll talk about how that is the case here. So I'm gonna be just summarizing it, putting the text on screen, and then like continuing through everything, if that makes sense. So the first ability is this your card? You know, like the classic trick. Basically, at third level you can make a deck of cards, which you have advantage on performance checks with, which isn't really a gameplay thing, that's mainly flavoring, but I thought it should be included because it's just a fun little thing, and it's like, you know, magician stuff. You're good at sleight of hand and performing. That's a lot of that, to my knowledge, and dexterity and stuff. Um, yeah. Um, but the main important thing is that when you draw a card from the deck, you can draw a trick card instead, which is something you can make a range attack with. And whenever you do make a range attack, it's a d10 of damage, and you roll a d4 as well to determine the suit, which is the damage type. Hey everyone, I was just editing the video and I wanted to mention the stuff you roll for the card, like damage. You roll when you draw the card, not when you throw it. Just didn't mention that until later in the original video. Wanted to put that in, that's all. Which a funny thing you might recognize, or you might notice on this PDF, is that clubs is bludgeoning damage. And it's not my job to figure out how a card can do bludgeoning damage to someone. I'm absolving myself of responsibility and explaining it. But yeah, so it's a d10 of damage with a random damage type. Ooh, some of the basic ones mainly. But what you get out of this attack over using just like another attack is that if you roll a 10, so there's a chance whenever you draw the card, is that you can get special effects. So if you roll a 10, you roll the d4 again to see if you get a face card. You can get a jack, which deafens the target until the start of your next turn, a queen, which ricochets for a bit less damage, or a king, which gives you advantage on your next attack. So the idea behind this whole ability is like, before combat, you can just like draw a bunch of cards if you want, and then find the correct one, or like just a good one. Like if you're looking for a face card, oh wow, I have a jack now, yay. Or if you're just looking for high damage, oh hey, I pulled the 9, I can do 9 damage guaranteed. You can't do that endlessly though. You can only draw up to twice your dex modifier per long rest. And you can only have one trick card drawn at a time. So it's not crazy overpowered, but it is still pretty good. Alright, so the 9th level ability is what we're moving on to for the subclass, and I'll have the first one on screen. It's behind your ear. Oh, there are 2 abilities, I should say. There are 2 little ones. The first one is on screen, is behind your ear, which is, you know, like the classic, oh, what's this? It's a quarter behind your ear. Oh my. You know, that sort of thing. Basically, as a bonus action, you can reach into an obscured area on your person or behind someone else's ear, and you can open an extra dimensional space. And there are a few things you can do with this extra dimensional space whenever you interact with it. You can put in a small or smaller non-magical object, take that kind of object out, or you can like produce a simple tiny non-magical object basically, or make an illusory dove which just flies away. And that the idea behind this is, it's like, first of all, the core idea is that you could put something in and like take it out in the middle of combat, or like if you're being arrested or something, and you can, you know, have something just there to get you out. It's a basically completely hidden way to have blank thing on your person, because you can't, like, nobody can access it or see it unless if they can see into your extra dimensional space. But also with the tiny non-magical object part, you can like just produce something from it. Is like, you can just get a key. You can just have one. You just always have these little things at your disposal, but they have to be very small and basic. Or the illusory dove is again one of those flavor things that can just flies away. But you could have it as like a distraction of sorts if your DM's fine with that, That's what's fun with D&D, I guess. You can do basically whatever, right? The next ability, this one's a lot simpler than that even. It's cheat the deck. When you roll a 1 or a 2 on the D10 of a trick card, you can re-roll it and take the new roll. And basically, this is just like, hey, your attack's a little bit more consistent. You have a bit of a higher chance of getting a 10 and getting a face card. That's it. Just a little bit of a buff. Next, we have More Than Amateur, which a little bit of a behind the scenes look. This actually used to be the 17th level ability, but I pushed it back, or pushed it forward, I guess, because after getting some feedback, I realized that some things need to be moved around and tweaked, so that way the subclass wasn't super weak. But, let's go into this. Basically, it's a buff to your previous abilities, just bringing them up to 13th level standards. First of all, the simpler one, behind your ear, you can put a magical object. It doesn't have to be non-magical, which just basically opens up more of these niche things you can do and more things you can prepare for, which is, again, the whole idea of the subclass. Anyway, the more complicated one, and the one that has to do with the heart of the class, is your trick cards now deal force damage. And this is mainly to overcome resistances and stuff. But then you might be thinking, if you're not looking at the screen right now, doesn't that just get rid of the use of the D4, which you established earlier? You're just getting rid of part of the ability in buffing it. And to that I say, no, I'm not. Because actually, the suits represent abilities rather than damage types. It's a little bit of a rework, and I think this is a better way to transition into the later game. Just run through them quickly. Clubs makes a little thingy of smoke, which is heavily obscuring for, a little bit. Diamonds blinds your target for a little bit. Hearts poisons your target for a little bit. And spades allows you to target a second creature or object with your attack. So, couple things with this, couple notes, things I want to point out that might not come in immediately, right? Clubs, smoke. Heavily obscuring smoke is not the best. It could definitely be useful in some cases, but it actually gets a lot better the next level at 14th level, because at 14th level you get blind sense, which means you can see through the smoke. Basically, I would personally probably rule it that you don't get disadvantage on attacks now, but because the other guy can't see, they have advantage against them. So basically, you throw a card at your feet right in front of somebody, and then you stab them next turn, and you get your sneak attack. Yay! Another thing, spades. I guess it depends on who you are playing with, and the specific situation, but I would say, again, this is just a personal thing, that you could get double sneak attack damage because you're targeting two creatures. Kind of overpowered, but shut up. Finally, we have 17th level ability. This is where wizards get 9th level spells. This is where all spellcasters get 9th level spells, and they can deal a lot of damage with those 9th level spells. So I wanted to match that. So 17th level, you can, as a reaction, initiate your grand finale, which lasts up to a minute. I'm basically just going to read this and then break it down a little bit. In your grand finale, you can draw and attack with up to 3 trick cards at a time, meaning, triple stuff, You can draw 3, you say you get a jack and a 2 and a 7, throw those. You can draw an unlimited amount of times, so your limit of twice your dex modifier not applying here. You can just keep drawing them, and have an unlimited number drawn at a time, meaning if you only feel like using 2 or 1 for whatever reason, you can just keep drawing them. You can have extra. You can have 20 out of at a time if you really feel like it. But here's the kicker. All this pretty good, but here's where it gets interesting. Additionally, you can choose the value of the card you draw, meaning the damage and if it is a specific face card. So let's be real here. 99% of the time, you're going to be drawing 3 10s, and you're going to probably add a face card ability to it. You can go crazy with this. You can just rack up damage, right? You can just keep getting tons of damage in there. You have a guaranteed 30 damage every time you use this. Like every turn, guaranteed 30 damage, basically. You can deafen your opponent. You can, get advantage on your next attack. Guaranteed sneak attack every time, basically. You can make your card ricochet. You can just keep doing this. Which does mean that, like, say you use 3 queens, you do 45 damage every turn. And that's really, really powerful. Yeah, no, that's it. It's just really, really powerful. It's meant to be, though, because it's also not guaranteed you always hit with them, right? Even though you will. You're 17th level, and admittedly, this ability might be pretty strong, but, the idea is chaos. The fantasy of this class, you get to throw cards at people, and you get to, like, if you understand the idea of, like, throwing a card at someone's neck, and then it's like, ugh, and then they, like, hold it, and then they fall, that sort of thing. It's cool, right? You're like sneaky. This is turning that momentarily into, oh hey, I'm just throwing flash grenades and smoke bombs everywhere, and they're all ricocheting and hitting other people and like poisoning them. I'm chaos incarnate, and that I think that's fun. Also, you can throw like a whole hand of cards at somebody. It's only 3, but why not, right? And of course, once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest. But anyway, that's the final ability. You just turn into Destructor, the card user, for a minute. Anyway, we're gonna mesh together what would normally be the conclusion outro here, because it's really late. I want to go to sleep, and also I don't have a ton to say past here. This is a little funny subclass, and yeah, I don't know. This kind of just appeared into my head. And I really want to make a subclass about it, and now that it's made, it's like, why not make a video on it? That could be fun, and you can kind of show some of that idea. Because I wanna put something out there and see if maybe somebody out there uses it. I think that'd be fun. And if you guys have any thoughts on if you think it should be nerfed or buffed, if you have any ideas, I'm open to them. But I'm not gonna make another video on this. If anything, I might just rewrite some stuff for my personal little sheet here if I like some of your ideas. I might comment it or something, but yeah, I mean, that's all. I just want to make a little subclass where you can just kind of keep a card in your pocket, keep a flame tongue up your sleeve, and I don't know, a dove in your head or behind someone else's ear, and you can always just do that. I just love making things for D&D. I'm probably gonna make some more videos like this in the future because I love making things, and that's gonna be all from this video. I hope you enjoyed. It's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit different than normal, but again, I've been busy and procrastinating, and this is just what I've been spending a lot of my free time on. Spent probably like 5 hours on this total. I don't know. I'm gonna stop rambling for now. We're just gonna finish up this video. So thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Uh, and see you next time in some kind of video. Honestly, I'm really preoccupied with with thinking of other things right now. So, I don't know yet, but we'll see. And bye bye.